I be out like a light, 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 like a light.
Welcome to Casual Conversations, where the convos are casual, but the topics are not. We are your hosts. I am Ziandra.
And I am Clayton.
And I'm Irene.
Today's casual conversation is going to be a good one, you guys.
Yes.
It's a little more serious. We are discussing the mistreatment and misconceptions of the LGBTQ plus community, or in the Black community specifically.
Yes.
So, of course, we're going to start off with our definitions. We're focusing on misconception and mistreatment. So, misconception. It's an idea that is wrong or inaccurate because it is based on failure to understand an erroneous conception. We need to run that back.
I think we need to, for sure, especially they are
people.
erroneous.
Right.
Yes.
So misconception, an idea that is wrong or inaccurate because it is based on failure to understand an erroneous conception. Moving on to mistreatment, the act of treating a person badly, cruelly, or unfairly.
Wow. So,
Right.
failure to understand, that really stuck out for me.
Yes.
Not the unwillingness to understand, like the failure to understand, but also the unwillingness that comes with like not wanting to understand.
What do you think?
I think there are many misconceptions and mistreatment of the LGBTQ.
So,
Let's go.
I want to know from you. What do you think?
Okay, so I think that there are a lot of misconceptions, and I think that there is real mistreatment of the LGBTQ plus community within the Black community. So those are intersections. So those who are Black and lesbian and gay and bi and et cetera, all the different letters of the LGBTQ plus community. Those things need to be discussed. And I think that they're not really talked about within our community by our community.
Yeah.
I think they're observed and picked apart by others, but not by us. So today's topic is really important. So for sure. Yes. The failure to understand.
That's a good one because I feel like there is a failure and then there's somewhat of an inability. Because I'm like, I know for me, it's like after when we decided we were going to talk about this and we kind of talked about it on the phone too, I was kind of thinking like the things that I kind of struggle with are somewhat related to misconceptions. And it's like, even though, of course, you already know you are my best friend and I love you.
In the whole
and we're going to get into this too a little bit later, but just like, how we love what the gay men specifically, what they bring to the culture, what they bring to the table. We cannot deny. Just,
what are some of the things we bring to the table? Tell us.
Just our verbiage, the things that we say, the way that we talk, our makeup, just the way we move, just music, songs, shablam, and all of that. Like literally, what most women are now emulating gay men.
Yeah. We have a lot of girls that are gay boys.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's women that are gay boys.
It's like, okay, so we love you guys and we love what you bring, but there's that
you love us until you have a gay child.
Right. And then it's like, okay, but I don't want my son to be gay, or I don't want my brother, or I don't want, and it's like, and why don't you want that? And so I had to ask myself that, like, why don't you want that? And for me, it's more so, I feel like it's two things. It's partly because although we are in a better space now as far as being accepting, there's still a long way to go. And that mistreatment, I don't want that for my children.
I wouldn't want that for my
They
child
already have a lot that they're going to be up against.
I personally wouldn't want it.
And we've talked about that. We've talked about that.
That's very interesting, being a young Black gay man and saying, I don't want a gay child. We have to dissect that.
I mean,
because that opinion is not popular.
Just to piggyback up
it's not
her, it's just the things that we go through. And then, being Black, for one, is already a thing. Being a man and gay it's a struggle. It's a big struggle, and I just wouldn't want my black son, to experience some of the things I've experienced personally. I would want him to just be able to, because you got to deal with too many things when you black and gay.
Let's name some of those things. Let's get into it.
Just like your family, for example. Like I had a lot of friends that was just put out on the street once they told their family they was gay, not even trying to get an understanding of the gay community or where we come from or what we do or nothing. A lot of the black families are closed off to that. Like it's just, once you gay, you got to get out. You got to fend for yourself. You got to go. So I wouldn't do that to my child personally. And my parents didn't do that. Shout out to Valerie and Clay. You know, we had some little bumps in the road, but my coming out story wasn't that traumatic. I didn't like get abused and beat up and put out on the curb. No, they wanted me to know that I was loved and I didn't have to go down the road of selling my body or being on drugs.
Yeah.
None of that. So I most definitely commend them and love them for accepting. Yes. It's still a thing though. I don't be wanting to say nothing, but.
So I have a question. I have a question. So out of the friends and people that you know that are part of that community, and they did come out to their parents and they're black.
Yes.
What are the numbers look like as far as like what percentage could you give us of ones that were their parents still allowed them to live there, still accepted them, didn't ridicule, abuse them, or put them out?
Out of all the people, all my associates that I was around, probably I hung around a lot. So like 30 people, I say probably 5 of them wasn't mistreated by their family.
Wow. Out of 30.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Out of 30.
That's crazy. Yeah. But that's why the houses were created and the mothers, and we can get into that later too. But these havens have been created because when you are coming out, you're being like, that's crazy. And it's like,
that's crazy.
Although you don't want it, it's like, I would never. That's what I'm saying. Like, if my son came to me like, Mom, this is what my orientation is, I'm not finna be like, get out.
Yeah.
Like, this is my child that I've raised and loved.
Bring like, at home.
Yeah. Like, I'm never going to make you feel like that. So, like, my want for a straight son doesn't override my love for my child. Or even my daughter. Like,
too, if you have a gay child, that doesn't necessarily mean that you lose your son. You don't lose your son. You still have a son. He just likes the same sex. I think everybody, when they hear it, they go straight to sex. Nobody's thinking about like the bigger picture.
Yeah,
got you.
I do a lot of things that straight men do better, actually. Like, it's a lot of stuff that straight men, they just can't do, and I can do it.
And these
and I can do it.
Today,
they can't do nothing.
They're terrible.
They're not changing tires. They don't know how to change brakes. They don't know how to build a damn thing. They don't know how to do nothing.
No, that stuff don't apply to me. I know how to do those things.
Literally, he's a carpenter. Like, he can build you a house. He can paint it. He can drywall it. My
mom harasses me every day to improve her house. I've been doing home improvement since
high school. Yes, like.
Wow. Wow. I did not know that about you.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Claim the carpenter. Right? Claim the carpenter. Coming soon.
I might be real, pretty, but you
get down with the get down.
It's real. Shoot. You got to be able to be cute with the cosmetics on both levels. Hey.
There it is. So that dispels some of the assumptions, and we wanted to get into that about dispelling the assumptions for and how important that is. So what would be one of the assumptions? I think we have the assumption of black gay men being promiscuous. Let's talk about it.
It is some out there that is, they're giving us a bad name because they are promiscuous, and some of them do focus on turning men out, and that's just for some of them. I mean, me personally, I didn't experience that in the straight community. I've never been gay bashed. I've actually changed a lot of straight men's mindset on how they thought about gay boys gay black men, because a lot of them are flamboyant and they can be a little bit over the top. And their goal is to turn the man out. I personally feel like we all have types, and I'm not the one just because you trade that I'm about to just want to take you down because you got some masculine energy going on. You got to be my type. You got to be the type of person I want, But a lot of them, they just go after the masculine men and try to turn them out. So it does create a bad thing for us, a bad name for us. So yes, we do get called, hoes and stuff because.
Is there a lot of promiscuity within that community?
It is. It is.
But it's not for all.
It's not for all.
And that's the misconception.
See, I don't know how to be a hoe when I'm single.
Look,
that's like not something I know how to do.
That's the misconception.
Clayton has never played about that. Like, he gets angry, like passionate and upset about the fact that stereotype is out there. And it's just like every other stereotype. Like, of course, it's a generalization that shouldn't apply to everybody. Nobody's a monolith, and that's just what it is. But it's like there is an assumption that there is a section of gay men that are just over the top. They're just sleeping around. They just whoever, like, oh, you're gay? Me too. Hey, come on. Like, and that's not what it is.
Right.
Like, and also for me, I don't even know if we mentioned this one, but for me, a personal annoyance with that is, or a misconception is that it's like contagious.
Let's talk about it.
I guess the official term will be homophobic now that I'm thinking about it. But it's I don't want to be around a gay man. I don't want to be around, or even women. It's some women that are like, I don't want nothing to do with no like, do you think you're going to become a gay or lesbian because they're next to you or talking to you, or because you hug them? Like, I said, watch out. It's like COVID.
I got it.
No. Watch out.
No, it's like COVID.
Put a suit on.
No, for real. They treat it like that sometimes.
Got you.
That is so ignorant. And then it's like it now begs the question of how confident are you in your sexuality to where you can't even be around this person who has nothing to do with you.
Yes.
They cannot affect your orientation. They cannot make you be like, oh, now I'm been around a gay person, so now I'm switching my whole entire, like, come on. So it's like, why? Like, that needs to stop. You need to be confident enough in yourself, men and women, or whatever you identify as. Be confident in yourself. And there's like, we're people. We're still people at the end of the day. So it's like, don't just be so quick to write someone off. And just like, you could be missing out on a great person because you think that like they're going to affect you with their gayness. Like, I'm gay now. What?
Yeah.
I've been around so many straight boys, but they're like, oh my God, you changed my whole perspective.
Yes.
I just never even thought that it was people like you. I'm like there's a lot of people like me.
Yes.
Right.
I'm not checking for you, baby. We're just about to have a good time today.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Got you.
Now, if you checking for me, that's a different thing. But I'm not checking for you.
Right.
Yeah. And
that comes with the level of, what can we say, respect, of just respecting the individual, right?
Yes.
Like besides
I think it got a lot to do with how you carry yourself too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When I come in the building, I don't come to play. I ain't coming to, I'm not buttering nobody up. And if you don't like me, I'm going to most definitely ask you what's up.
Okay.
Or if I feel like you uncomfortable or what you need to talk about.
Got you.
I'm just like that. So a lot of people ain't like that though. It was so funny because back in the day I would throw parties and a lot of my friends are straight. Like they are. Like I roll with the straight people. They not a problem for me. So the little gay friends that I did have, I would throw stuff and it would be like at a straight club or a club that's gay friendly, but it wouldn't be in our community or on the Rainbow Street. So they'd be like, oh my God, you always want to be around all these straight people and be so scared. And it's like, you're scared because you don't carry yourself in a way that you can be respected. See, you're going to come to the party. And I had friends that would come to the party like, that nigga fine. Like, excuse my French, but you can't come and do that. Like, that's just not what you need to be doing. You need to be, if you want respect, you have to give it and you have to carry yourself in a certain way so you don't have to experience the hate or the misunderstanding. And if people don't understand, I've been in groups where I'm open to questions. I don't get offended easy. Because
got you.
When I decided to come out, I was whole with myself. I had already talked to a counselor and seen a therapist. So I knew what I was dealing with. So when you're ready like that, a lot of stuff can't offend you. Like these words, and I'm not sensitive like that. So the community right now with the sensitivity, and you can't say anything, and everything is so touch and go. I'm not like that. I don't come from an era like that. So a lot of stuff that people feel, I'm more or less trying to get you to see another side of it. Like, don't just stay in that space. It might not always be the best, it might be ignorant. So I might try to help you not be ignorant.
Got you. So okay.
That's just where I'm at with it. A lot of people is just the community has become very sensitive for sure. So
we're definitely going to get into that later for sure about the sensitivity. Mm-hmm. So is it fair to say that there are people, of course, who think like, oh, gay men and lesbian and transgender, those people in the community and bisexual, those people they're trying to convert and bring people into the community and strengthen their numbers and turn people who are heterosexual. And you're saying that is a misconception.
Yes.
That is actually not true.
For sure.
Okay. Got you. But I have a question though. Is it true? Because there's a little saying, gay for a stay. Is that true? Are there people who come to visit?
Yeah.
Right? Who come to visit?
Gay for
stay.
Girl,
gay for stay. Gay for pay.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk. Okay, look, because
it's been a whole thing going on right now.
Do you remember the show MTV True Life?
Yes, I do.
They did a episode. I don't remember how, it was years ago.
Okay.
And it was gay for pay. The guy was doing gay porn, and he was like, they pay more. I'm straight though. This man is saying he's straight.
All the men had girlfriends, by the way.
I take Viagra so I can get hard. I think about women. All this stuff that he's saying to say, I'm just trying to get the bag. So there's that aspect of gay for pay. And then the gay for stay is, we already know when you a hobosexual, you ain't got nowhere to live. So you gonna give it to whoever you need to give it to for that room and board.
Okay.
So if
a male gigolo,
exactly, and you don't discriminate. You whoever got the nice bed for me, Tempur-Pedic, little nice pillows. That don't mean that doesn't mean, because it's survival. It's survival. And then the next element of it is in prison. Now here I go with prison again.
Here we go. Let's talk about it.
Years ago, I was a little girl, didn't have no business watching it, but HBO used to do those specials too. And it was one where the man was in there talking about tossing salads. Chris Rock talked about it on one of his comedy specials. Y'all, it was hilarious. But anyway, that was my first introduction to down low men. Yes. Down low men. The men were really like having girlfriends. Well, a man.
Well, the man was in there dressed up like a girl. He had his shirt tied up, honey. He's
taking care of him, bringing his food, cooking, rubbing his back. They having sex. They doing everything they need to do, because he's like, I have needs and I'm in here. I got a bed. I'm finna be in here, and my hand can only do so much. This Fifi bag can only do so much. I have to do what I need to do. So this is the closest thing I can get to a woman. So I'm about to do this. And then when I get out, that part of my life is done. I'm never talking about it. I'm straight. I'm finna go back to my woman or find a woman. That I'm not gay. I had to survive. I did what I had to do in
It's men right now that's like that. They'll have sex with a gay man and walk away and be like, I'm
not gay. Or if they just they gave me head, I ain't gay.
If you gonna pay him to give him some head, they gonna take it.
Wow.
And then there's the whole situation with the prostitutes. The men that go to the male prostitutes to get their rocks off and feel like it's a transaction. Sex is an act. It's not about who I have it with. It's about the end outcome.
Wow.
Very true.
Wow.
She said, wow.
She's mind blown. Where's the sound?
Well, she was mind blown too the other. It's so funny because she was mind blown the other day when I was telling her about the trans women. So
get into this, honey.
I came up in an era where a lot of my friends transitioned. I love them. Shout out to all my that y'all know who y'all are. I love y'all. Back in the day, that was where that was like our endearment. We love them was my girls. Trust me, them is my babies. They know what I'm talking about. But a lot of them, it was a section of them that transitioned, and I was telling her that they transitioned for men, like they transitioned to get men. They didn't really transition because they was feeling like they was in the wrong body. They transitioned for the man.
For their what? But what man?
The straight man.
who is not comfortable.
That's on the DL that would prefer to be seen with a woman figure.
Oh,
I had never even.
Okay, this is a whole nother level,
saying, right?
This is a whole nother level.
I'm thinking about the people who are, I'm not born in the right body. I feel like I'm a boy or a girl. I'm literally
that's not always the circumstance.
But that's the only what can I say? That is the only thing that's the only narrative that's being projected.
Yes.
And this is why we got to have these conversations about and dig deep.
I can't be who I am.
Yeah.
Like there's this element of sympathy attached to it. And this is that only reason. And when he opened that up, I'm like, that's like black market low key. That's like, I'm finna go get some hormones in a hotel room. I'm finna go downtown to the alley.
A lot of it was black market. You got your hormones off the street. Got your shots off the street.
And what else? With no medical attention, no help,
you didn't
no
go
nothing.
Get therapy. You didn't go see it. I've had a friend, like, no shade, I've had a friend that transitioned and got scared of himself and freaked out and lost his mind. Like, because you didn't go get the proper, help or see a therapist or, just deal with that. You did that based off of the relationship you was in because the man didn't want to go out with you because you was a man. So you transitioned to a woman and now y'all not together and now you're changing and you don't look like yourself and now you losing it because you didn't do anything the correct way. You went and took street hormones to satisfy a man.
I'm telling you, I was on the phone like, what?
The levels of the patriarchal society. My God.
A lot of these,
four men.
And y'all think y'all the only people be doing stuff for men.
I was like, we thought what the women be doing be bad.
Yes, no, it's people in our community that do the same thing.
Like we be like, we be doing too much, but it's a lot of us doing too much.
I've never heard of that. Like, it's a thing.
Wow.
It was just a completely different avenue. Like I never would have thought anything like that. Like, he's not ready to come out yet. He's on the down low, but he likes me and he still wants to deal with me. But I'm a man and I don't want to be a woman.
I dated a man that was like, can you wear girl undergarments? And I don't do that. So if that's what you want, I'm flamboyant enough. This is all you getting. I might put on a little Mac every now and then. Yeah. You might see me change up I might have on a little tighter jean or something, but I'm not putting on no girl panties. I'm not wearing no bra. I don't identify with woman. That's not what I want to do. So I had to cut ties with him. But it is men that will manipulate you to transition.
Wow.
That's deep.
That is something.
Yeah, that's definitely not being discussed.
Absolutely not.
On any level.
For sure.
Thank you for covering that truth. Wow.
Yes.
And for the people that's out there doing that, please understand that you have to want to. This has to be something that you want. Like becoming a woman is a big thing. Like you're gonna grow breasts. You about to deal with all these different emotions. Just make sure that that's something that you really want to do. You're not doing it to be in love or to catch a man.
Yes.
Yeah. No one should do anything to try to keep someone. Like it's just, there are certain things that you should do to be in a relationship, but
altering your damn
altering that.
Self.
No, your whole changing your whole.
A lot of them, that do it. Then
that's a no.
Then they stop and then they transition back, and it's just it messes you up though because your whole body and everything is not the same anymore. So
is that a misconception that black men? We're talking about our community here.
Yeah.
That black men
that was in our community
who are gay are feminine. That all black males who are gay are feminine. Is that a misconception?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Got it.
Absolutely.
I mean,
you've heard it here first. It is a misconception. You've heard it here first.
One of my exes, like when you seen him, he read straight, but he was gay. He was fully gay, but he just didn't carry himself in a way where you would think that he was gay. But in the bed, you knew he was gay because he was a power bottom.
Oh, and not a power.
So he was.
Oh my God.
He liked to be penetrated, baby.
Oh Lord.
So you can't judge a book by its cover because you can't. You would naturally see me, and then a lot of people see me and be like, "Oh, you have a big butt." And they think I'm a power bottom. I'm like, no, that's not the case.
So you doing the bending. Shout out to Tyler Perry. Not for that, but for the movie.
Now, how y'all gonna throw in Tyler Perry in this? He'll be like, keep me out of this.
Well, you know Tyler eyebrow.
Oh Lord,
no,
Lord.
I want to work with him. Look, wait.
No, I most definitely want to work with him, but baby,
No, what I was saying.
he know how to pick a man, honey. That's what I can
Everyone
see.
knows that in For Colored Girls, Janet's character was married to Omari, and she was like, "Oh, so you doing the bending?"
That's the quote.
So don't come for me, y'all.
We love you. We love you.
Let me clarify.
But you do know how to pick out. You do know how to cast some very attractive men.
Yes.
For sure.
Back to the misconception of Black gay males being feminine, and then you dispelling that, just saying like, hey, it's not a monolithic, like even within our community, you can't sit up there and just label one person and then, or here we go, see stereotypes on television, on radio, because we have to be honest about that. That is what we're fed all the time.
Oh, yes.
That Black gay males are flaming.
That's it.
Flaming.
It's absolutely
That they're extremely feminine. I'm saying like even like
Over the
ultra
top. Over the
feminism. They have ultra feminine qualities, and like it's like, well, and even it's like, so sometimes I'm like, well, that's actually not even feminine. That's like over exaggerated.
Yeah.
So
They're over exaggerated people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of segues for me into like, since we're talking about the flamboyance specifically, like, where does that come from?
Where does that come
Because
from?
it's like women
It's
don't
emulated,
act that way.
emulated from women, but it's still our own thing. It's like our thing. Like,
Okay.
I think the over exaggeration of the flamboyant comes from like being in the ball and voguing and walking runway. That acquires like a lot of, you got to be really, theatrical. So I think that's where that comes from. And yes, parts of it comes from women. Like, cause you will see you guys do have women that are very like raw at you. So it's a lot of women that they follow, that they love, that is very dramatic and out there.
Got you.
You know.
Yeah. So it derives from women, but then they take it and then
they just
do it, make it their own. It's on.
I'm gonna admit something. So I used to feel like it was overcompensating because you're not a woman. But what's flawed in that thought process is that all gay men don't want to be women.
Yes.
So I had to remove that quickly.
Another misconception.
But I still was like, this like the personality is just so different. It's just so unique. And I'm just like, I've always wondered, like, how does that come about? Like, just the sayings, the wittiness, the shit is amazing. Like, it's really mind blowing. Like, and you don't want to be like, you people, you gays are just something else.
But we do see that though.
You guys are amazing, and that's why I'm like, it's such a push and pull, and I guess it's like that with everything. Everything has a pro and a con, but it's like, we cannot, and as Black people, we know what it feels like to be loved for what we provide, but not for who we are.
Not for who we are.
We are the culture, and we dictate everything. Literally
all
everything.
movement.
Every commercial is well, now they call it AAVE. Now it used to be Ebonics back in my day.
It was Ebonics back in my day. Now it's African American vernacular English.
Yeah.
Yes.
We actually was looked down on that.
Yeah.
Which was a term. I mean, that term it was back in I think 60s or 70s or whatever. I remember.
Ebonics.
Yeah, well, Ebonics. We grew up on Ebonics. We grew up with Ebonics, but AAV actually has been around. A lot longer. Okay. But I think how we
come on, teacher.
We take a term and then we also make it our own. We made it into Ebonics. So that's how much we be up there remixing our own stuff.
We do.
That's exactly what we did with AAV.
And that's why we are the culture. But at the same token, we're getting murdered and there's no justice behind it. We're getting falsely imprisoned. Not to say that we're the only people that encounter those things, but we know what it feels like to, again,
right.
It's mainly us.
It's mainly us.
And there's like, nobody cares. It's just like, oh, we're going to march about it, but that's it. So we experience that. And then being gay and Black, double negative.
The double negative. Right. Do you feel that way? Like being black and gay would be double. And that's why you said, like, I don't want to have a child.
To have a child
right.
come into this. Because especially right now, what's happening. It's like, okay, our community is over. They're getting things done.
Okay.
They're getting things done right now.
Yeah.
They're sticking together. They're getting things done. Very proud of you guys. But some stuff is taken too far. Like,
okay. All right.
There's certain things that are just taken too far. Like, for real. Like, we gonna be real. Like, we've been fighting for equality for years, and now we're starting to receive it, and we need to be mindful that we're not hurting other people when we're trying to get our things done. Because now it's like we kind of getting a little power, and then now we just jumping out the window.
Got you. So the power was like, okay, so we got the power and we're on an elevator and it's leveling up, right? Each level. And then now there's like, well, there's an abuse of, okay. Now you feel like there's an abuse of power.
Oh, Lord.
I want to explain it first before we get into this. Hold on. There's an abuse of power. Is that what you're saying? Now that
why would you do that? This is what we didn't want. This is what we was fighting against because we were mistreated and it was being done to us. So now you getting the power, you gotta show something different.
Okay, got you. What do you do with that power?
What the people did to us to the people. Like, that's just not.
Got you.
Yeah,
got it.
Cool. Like the trends versus Aretha Franklin.
Ooh, all right.
Like,
since we're going there, let's unpack that.
So we're leaving it off. We'll be back with the part 2. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and remember to keep it calm.
Keep it cute.
And as always, keep it casual.
Like a light, slept rough night for the night.